So we know that Starfield is literally about to drop, and honestly, a lot of people have some interesting takes on the situation. Like me, I'm almost 30 hours into the game now, and I think that it's absolutely incredible. It's the experience that people were really wanting and kind of waiting for. But with that being said, I also look at things and I go, you know what, listen, how will this affect Xbox as Xbox, right? I think that's a question that I myself and a lot of people are asking as well. But I think that we won't have the answer to that for probably another month or so. But we do have a little bit of an early indicator that Starfield has some kind of effect on Xbox itself, and I think that is something very worthwhile talking about. And again, you know, you might not be an Xbox fan, but obviously this was going to have some kind of effect, and it looks like it's having a very positive effect on Xbox in terms of what they're able to sell and things like that. Starfield has boosted Xbox Series X sales by 1,000%, which is pretty incredible if you think about it. Now, Starfield has definitely had a positive effect on Xbox sales, as the console saw its sales jump by more than 1,000% on Amazon. Now, it can't be understated how much a big game can actually lift and shift console sales like nobody's business, and people will flat out buy a console for a particular game, and it's looking like Starfield is no different. In this case, leading up to the game's early release launch, it looks like it was spotted that Xbox Series X was doing particularly well on Amazon in the US. The console managed to jump a 1,056% in sales to the e-commerce website, a pretty astronomical figure if you actually think about it. Amazon isn't the only place Starfield is doing well either, as when the game was released for those with early access, it managed to reach over 250,000 concurrent players on Steam. Considering the game isn't technically out yet for most people, that's really not bad. So it'll be interesting to see what the figure looks like once the rest of us can get our hands on it. Now, reviews for the game have been pretty positive across the board as well. Starfield reviews, according to this site, getting a 4 out of 5. Starfield is amazing, and it looks to be Bethesda's next big thing. So again, that's pretty cool when you look at it as well. For me personally, people ask me what my Starfield opinion is, and I say 10 out of 10, and that's not overhype or anything like that. Like, I don't care if people outside of myself like it. Like, to me, the only person that matters in terms of opinion is me. And so when I say, hey, you know what, I'm looking forward to seeing what Starfield can do for Xbox, I think that it'll have a positive impact for sure. But I also think that, you know, when people just assume that like it's going to win NPD or whatever, I think, you know, listen, Microsoft clearly goes after a different type of thing with what they do now, right? This isn't the old days with the 360 where, you know, you had an exclusive or whatever and you put it only on your console, etc., and then you sell consoles, because they could do that, right? If they were to just have this game on a console, on the Xbox Series X and S, they would probably sell some consoles, but at the same time they would end up losing out money on sales of the game and Game Pass subscribers elsewhere, right? So people on PC, the fact that on Steam, right, like these people on PC, they could have very easily got the $35 upgrade or whatever on Game Pass on PC and played the game that way, but instead they chose to buy the $100 version on Steam. So Microsoft would be missing out on all that. There's probably, you know, 500,000 to 1 million people that are doing that, and so when you look at that and you go, okay, well, now you can kind of see why they did things the way that they did. And, you know, this is a big game, you know, but again, we're not in the old era of, okay, well, Halo 3 is only on an Xbox, so I better get an Xbox. It's not like that anymore. Or, you know, Gears of War is only on an Xbox. Like, they're not doing that anymore. That whole reason why they're not doing that, and listen, I can understand why. I'm not a PC guy at all. Like, I genuinely hate PC gaming, but in general, I feel like you have to be able to have something better than what it was previously. And what I mean by that is, when you're a company, right, and you come out with a system, every 5-6 years you got to hit reset on that, and you have to start from scratch. That's not a good place to be if you're a business. It's just, I'm being honest about that, right? So now it's like, when you do start over from scratch, people can take all their stuff with them, including their controllers or whatever, and, you know, if you're on like PC or you own a game on the cloud or whatever, you can do that, and you don't have to worry about losing out on the ability to play this new game or whatever. So I think that's very smart for the way that they've been kind of handling things, and, you know, as far as I can tell, it's working out extremely well, you know. And I, to be honest with you, I can't believe that they've been able to kind of accomplish and pull off what they've been able to do, because Starfield, let's just be honest, had a tough road to go. You know, if you look at things and you kind of look at how some of the reviews went for Starfield, and maybe I'll get into that one day, but it's like the overwhelming positivity for the game for the most part. But then you had certain outlets that were a little bit suspect, right? Like, and I've mentioned this before, like the IGN outlet was a little bit suspect, because you had the guy who reviewed that give it a 7 out of 10, and you might go, well, that's not a terrible score. No, it's not a terrible score, but that's a score that I gave Crackdown 3. And oddly enough, the guy who reviewed Starfield for Xbox on IGN and gave it a 7 out of 10 gave Duke Nukem Forever an 8 out of 10. So it does make you sort of think about things, you know. And obviously this guy also, there's like pictures of him dressing up like Kratos and making fun of Xbox numerous times and things like that, and really kind of come down hard on Xbox for the you know, for the way that they kind of bought Bethesda, or tried to buy and kind of buying Activision and things like that. So this guy seems like he has some kind of an agenda. And then you had, like, you know, IGN after this as well. They were kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's one of those weird situations where we're kind of looking at this and going, well, you know, how is this even possible that this guy's reviewing the game, right? Like, that's a big question that I would ask myself. Like, you know, let somebody who likes Xbox review it. You know what I mean? Could you imagine letting somebody who hates Xbox or hates PlayStation review a PlayStation game, right? Like, that wouldn't make any sense to me at all. It just really wouldn't. And so, yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate when you see these people kind of get to review it, or people, there was this other thing that I guess took down the Metascore a little bit, this other review, and these people, this one guy played the game 4 or 5 hours and they gave it a 6.5. Like, to me, that is kind of crazy to think about that, right? You don't really see that too often on the PlayStation side of things, where people go, oh, you know, here, let me review a PlayStation game for 5 hours and then review it. And there are things, and the thing is, it's like people on the internet find these things, right? So they found out that these people that reviewed Starfield, and the guy only played it for 4 or 5 hours and gave it a 6.5. They also reviewed Forspoken and gave it a very high mark, because they wanted to raise the score on Forspoken, right? So you can see this stuff, like how these people get accredited officially on Metacritic is sort of weird, but it is sort of a strange situation. Like, to me, Starfield seems like, to me anyway, I'm just going to put this out there, if this were on everything, it would be a 90 plus Metacritic. The fact that it's only on Xbox console means that it's going to get a lesser score, and people go, oh, well, that's just crazy. It's not. People literally will look back to the Rise of the Tomb Raider stuff. Like, people were so pissed off about that game being Xbox only at launch. You know, that this is just the way things go. Anyway, Xbox is selling great. This is pretty incredible stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Peace out.